So you're thinking about a trip to New Orleans, the Crescent City. It's an amazing place, but let's be real, it can be a little overwhelming. There's just so much history packed into every single street. So where do you even start? Well, that's what we're here for. We're going to decode the city's stories and help you find the one that's perfect for you. Let's get into it. You know, New Orleans isn't just a city. It's more like a living, breathing history book. The story isn't just locked away in some museum. Nope. It's right there in the architecture, in the incredible food, and in the music you hear everywhere. It's this amazing gumbo of French, Spanish, Caribbean, and American history all mixed together. With literally 3 centuries of stories to pull from, the real question becomes, what are you looking for? Are you here for the old colonial buildings? Or maybe it's the cultural heartbeat of the city, the music and the food? Or are you looking for the ghostly legends that, still linger in the shadows? Okay, here's how we're going to figure this out. We're going to break it down into 3 types of travelers, 3 personas. By the time we're done, you'll know exactly which walking tour is going to bring the New Orleans you're dreaming of to life. First up, the history buff. This is you if you're the kind of person who loves to get to the very core of how a place came to be. We're talking the politics, the architecture, and all those big events that shaped everything that came after. So for all you history buffs out there, we're really looking at 3 main types of tours. The absolute classic French Quarter history tour, a trip through the incredible Garden District, and for those of you who want to get really detailed, an architecture deep dive. It's really a tale of 2 cities right next to each other. You have the French Quarter, the Vieux Carré, which is the colonial heart of the city, built by the French and later ruled by the Spanish. But then, just a streetcar ride away, you've got the Garden District, and it tells a totally different story. It's all about that big American money and ambition that flooded in after the Louisiana Purchase. Just imagine being on a tour where you learn to actually see the difference between that hand-hammered Spanish wrought iron and the delicate, almost lace-like cast iron from the Victorian era. You'd see the famous Pontalba buildings on Jackson Square, these masterpieces from the 1850s, and you'd start to understand how the clash between Creole and American cultures is literally built into the walls of the city's homes. All right, let's move on to our next persona, the culture seeker. This is for you if you want to go beyond the dates and buildings and really understand the people, their traditions, their music, their food, and yeah, their struggles too. For the culture seeker, the best tours are the ones that really dig into the human side of the city. We're talking about tours that focus on urban enslavement and Creole life, a journey through the legendary Treme neighborhood, and of course, a culinary history tour where you can literally taste the city's past. Seriously, a tour of Treme is absolutely essential if you want to understand the soul of New Orleans. It's the oldest African-American neighborhood in the entire country. And right there, in Congo Square, is the sacred ground where enslaved people kept their West African drumming and dance traditions alive. Traditions that would evolve directly into jazz. It's the literal birthplace of America's greatest art form. And a culinary tour? It's so much more than just eating. Here's a little piece of insight that unlocks a ton of the city's history. Knowing the difference between Creole and Cajun. Think of Creole as the refined city food, this elegant mix of European recipes with West African ingredients. And Cajun? That's the hearty, rustic country food from French Acadian refugees out in the swamps. One bite of each tells you a whole story about class, geography, and migration. And to really get the culture, you have to understand its incredibly complex social structure. Tours that focus on urban enslavement explain the unique, 3-tiered society of colonial New Orleans. It was made up of white Europeans, a really significant population of free people of color, and enslaved Africans. This system created a social dynamic that was totally unlike anywhere else in the U.S. And last but definitely not least, we have our 3rd persona, the thrill seeker. This is for all of you who are drawn to the city's reputation as America's most haunted city, where the darker parts of history just refuse to stay buried. So ask yourself, are you fascinated by the real stories? The documented tragedies, the old police archives, the newspaper clippings that actually fuel these legends? If the answer is yes, then a haunted history tour is calling your name. These tours will take you to some truly iconic and historically important sites. You'll stand right in front of the LaLaurie Mansion and hear the chilling and very real story of what happened inside. You'll learn about the Ursuline Convent and its connection to the Casket Girls, a legend that might have kicked off New Orleans' whole vampire lore. And you'll get to step inside Lafitte's blacksmith shop, one of the oldest buildings in the city, which is said to be haunted by a pirate.
But here's the key thing you have to know about these tours. The good ones, they aren't about cheap theatrics or people jumping out at you. They are, and this is the important part, hugely historical. The guides are master storytellers who base their tales on actual events, using real records to explore the grim realities behind the ghost stories.
Okay, so by now you've probably figured out if you're a history buff, a culture seeker, or a thrill seeker. So now let's cover a few essential tips that apply to any tour you choose. This is your know before you go cheat sheet. 4 simple points, but trust me, they're crucial. 1. Wear comfortable shoes. I'm serious. Those colonial-era sidewalks are beautiful and authentic, but they are super uneven. 2. Be ready for anything weather-wise. A sudden downpour is classic New Orleans, so a small umbrella is your best friend. 3. Stay hydrated. That subtropical humidity is no joke. And 4. Book your tour ahead of time, and please remember to tip your guide. 15 to 20% is pretty standard if they did a great job. And how long will you be walking? Well, most of these tours last somewhere between 90 minutes and 2 hours. They usually cover about a mile, maybe a mile and a half, all at a pretty relaxed pace.
So there you have it. Whether you're a history buff, a culture seeker, or a thrill seeker, New Orleans absolutely has a story waiting just for you. The only question left is, which one are you going to uncover first?
Now, if you want to explore the specific tour companies we've talked about, compare all your options, and get booking info, all you have to do is click the link in the description below. It'll take you to the full article that this whole explainer was based on. Happy exploring!